my name's Megan and this is my first ever YouTube video. And today we're gonna talk about the first steps to wedding planning and where I started with all the crazy mess. But before we get started, I'm gonna give you a little bit of info about myself. I am from the Los Angeles area and was living in New York for the last 3 years where I met my fiance, and we just relocated about 2 weeks ago to the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. He's going to be starting grad school in August and he's actually from the area as well. This is kind of where we wanted to settle down, start a family in time. So everyone always tells you the first question after getting engaged that everyone starts asking is, when's the date? For us, it was a little different, probably because we were both living in New York and our families are scattered across multiple states along with our friends. The first question was pretty much, where's the wedding gonna be? We decided to do the wedding in Tennessee versus New York or California. One, because of the aesthetic of the wedding, and it's beautiful here in Tennessee with the woods and nature and everything, and it's a lot more cost affordable. Being that our wedding's in Tennessee and we just moved here, most of the planning's been done from New York, which has had its slight complications. Luckily, it's all worked out thus far. We decided on an October wedding of this year, 2019, and we got engaged in July of 2018. And the first thing we started with was the venue. And to my surprise, many venues were booked over a year in advance. We were losing dates left and right, which is why my top recommendation to you would be pick a venue first and foremost before you get into anything else. I've heard a lot of wedding coordinators recommend making your guest list first before even getting into looking at venues. I think I may have been a little bit ahead of the game with that because we had a set number that we kind of wanted to stick to and decided to make the guest list off of that number. We're trying to have a somewhat intimate wedding so that we actually have the time to spend with everybody who is able to come. Since most people will be traveling from out of town, we want to try to give as much of our divided attention to all of our guests. That said, if you don't have an idea in mind about how many people you think you'll be inviting, how many you think will actually show up, I definitely recommend trying to put a number to it and figuring that out, because a lot of the venues do have capacity limits. Some are for more smaller intimate weddings, some can go up to 300, 500, and you wouldn't want to have a venue that looks completely empty if you end up deciding to only invite about, let's say, 100 people versus 500, 300. The one learning curve that I had when looking for a venue, especially in Tennessee, is this isn't really an issue in California, is liquor licenses. Some venues, dependent on what county you're in, require you to pay a fee per person if you are serving alcohol. Some venues are completely dry venues, so that's something to really look into before you go and tour a venue. Something that was a little nerve-wracking for us is that we didn't actually see our venue before booking. We relied on photos. I FaceTimed with one venue, but it was definitely doable, and we ended up being really lucky in the end. Our venue is absolutely beautiful, but it wasn't until about 6 months after we got engaged that we actually got to see the venue in person. Another tip I have on looking for a venue would be make sure you find out what the budget is before going to tour it. Before really falling in love with that venue, make sure you know that it fits within your budget and find out what is provided in that. Does it include the day before and the rehearsal dinner? Do they help you set up the tables? Is there staff there on site? Our venue doesn't have staff on site day of. They help set up the tables in advance, and then everything else is third-party vendors, which is something I personally really liked because it allowed for us to be a little bit more customizable with the kind of catering we want, the kind of flowers, all of that. But the really great thing about our venue is that they provide these amazing wooden farm tables that I absolutely love and was the exact aesthetic I was looking for. And so that cost is all included in our wedding fee for the venue, which does make things a little bit easier. Then we don't have to outsource tables, other decorations. Our venue even has a decorating closet assigned to it. The other great thing about our venue is that you can rent linens directly through them at a lower cost than it would be if I were to either purchase them and handle them on my own or go to another linen rental in the area. If you're having a wedding where most people are going to be traveling from out of town, another thing to look into that is absolutely great is, do they have properties on the venue that you could stay at? Me and my bridesmaids will be staying in a little apartment complex that's right by the venue on the property. They rent it out as an Airbnb, but we're going to get to use it for the time that we're there, and it just makes it so much easier because our venue is a little bit secluded from the more city area, and we'll be on site ready, can just hang out and get ready all together, and we're just a walk away from the actual venue. This is something that's a little bit less common that I was finding at most venues, but one thing that does exist at my venue that I would suggest asking, because you never know what's provided at the venues around you, is they offer this decorating room that is tied to the venue. It's just a little closet that has a really cute barn door opening, and they have all decor that you could use completely included in your venue fee. There's amazing like vintage looking sofas, there's table numbers, so I might not even have to get that. There is a table sign where I could just add in all of the table numbers and the names for all of those. There's bins for water for the tables, there's decor, there's little chalkboard signs for dessert, hashtag signs, all that kind of stuff, which is really actually going to save me a lot of my own time and money in the end, because I was originally looking into buying some things on Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, and kind of making my own signs, but they provide all of that. So one will save me time and save me money in the end. Well, thanks guys for tuning into my first ever YouTube video. It's been great getting to help you with what I've gone through and learning about searching for venues and the beginning of wedding planning. I've really been enjoying it. I know a lot of people I know who've gotten married or in the process of getting married, they felt like it's a second full-time job, but I'm here to help you make it as much of an enjoyable process as it can be. For me, it's really kind of been a break from work and everything else going on, and it should be something that's fun and exciting. If you found this video helpful, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be creating more wedding videos, and feel free to comment with anything you'd like me to talk about. I've been really enjoying listening to different YouTube influencers' experiences coordinating their own weddings and listening to wedding coordinators as well. It's really great to get a different perspective and see what other people are doing that you could maybe help incorporate into your wedding planning. So feel free to comment with any wedding subjects, floral arrangements, photographer, how I found most of my vendors, since I am doing a venue that requires me to have third-party vendors. Feel free to let me know what you're interested in learning about from my experience.